Welcome to Teach Quant. Today we want to consider how to solve simple equations. And we have examples of, first of all, how to simplify or can simplify expressions. And the first example is that we want to simplify is x minus 2, x plus 1 plus 4. And this will be equals to x minus 2x minus 2 plus 4. And that gives us x minus 2x is negative x minus 2 plus 4 is plus 2, which we can also write as 2 minus x. And that is the simplest form of that expression that we have been given there. Another example we can think about on simplified expressions is 2x plus y minus x plus 3y plus 1. And that gives us 2x plus 2y minus x plus 3y plus 3. So we have 2x minus x, which will give me x, and then 2y plus 3y is 5y, and then plus 3. And that is the simplest form we can be able to write that expression. Another example we want to look at is we want to see how we can solve linear equations. And for linear equations, we want to look at an example. We want to solve for x, and we want to solve for x in the following equation. 2x plus 2 is equals to 3. If I take 2 on the other side, so literally what I'm doing is I have to subtract 2 on this side. What I do on one side of the equation, I also do on the other side. Why did I subtract 2 on my left hand side? So that I will only be left with 2x, because it will be 2x plus 0, and 2x plus 0 is 2x, and then this will give me 1. And therefore I'll divide both sides by 2, and this will tell me that x is equals to 1 over 2, because 2 divided by 2 is 1, and therefore the solution is x is equals to a half. Another example, simple example that we can think about is 3 minus 3x is equals to negative 6. I can write this equation as negative 3x plus 3 is equals to negative 6. I want to move 3 to the other side of the equation. So what I do on this side is that I'm going to subtract the 3. And what I do on one side, I'll do the same. So 3 minus 3 is 0. So minus 3x is equals to minus 9. Minus 6 minus 3 is negative 9. If I divide through by negative 3, then I'll be able to get the value of x, and therefore x is equals to 3. And that gives us another example. Another set of equation is what we call the simultaneous equation. The simultaneous equations, we want to look at a simple example on how to solve simultaneous equations. There are different ways or different methods that can be applied. I'm not going to go through all the methods. I'll use the elimination method. And what is involved in eliminating? I need to do away with 1. So for example, I can eliminate y. And since this is positive and this is negative, I put a positive there so that it will be positive y plus minus. Plus and minus is minus. So positive y and negative y will give me 0. And x plus 2x will give me 3x. And 3x will be equals to 3. And therefore, if I divide through by 3, I'll be left with x is equals to 1. And since I know the value of x, then I can get the value of y. From the first equation, y is equals to 3 minus x, which will be 3 minus 1. And therefore, because I know the value of x, then I can get the value of y, and y is equals to 2 and x is equals to 1. That is if I use the elimination method. I could solve the same equation using the substitution method. For the substitution method, what we have is we can write y as 3 minus x. Then in the second equation, we have 2x minus y is equals to 0. Whenever there is y, I'll replace with this. I'll come and put it there. So it will be 2x minus, my y is 3 minus x is equals to 0. So whenever I took the first equation and I made y the subject of the formula, y is equals to 3 minus x. And then in the second equation, where there is y, I'll substitute with 3 minus x. And therefore, that will give me 2x minus 3 plus x is equals to 0. So 2x plus x is 3x is equals to 3 if I divide through. And therefore, I'll find that x is equals to 1. Since I know the value of x, I can get the value of y. We know that y is equals to 3 minus x, which is 3 minus 1, which is equals to 2. And that gives me the same solution as the one I had in the previous example of the elimination method. Another example of a simultaneous equation, I can have an equation of this form. So the first step is we need to rewrite this equation in a form that will make it look a little bit more palatable to us, in the sense that we can solve it. And then x plus y is equals to 10. Again, I can decide to eliminate x this time by putting a negative. X minus x is 0. Then negative y, negative plus y is negative y, which is negative 2y. And then 1 minus 10 is negative 9. And therefore, I can get the value of y. Negative 2y is equals negative 9 divided by negative 2 divided by negative 2. So y is equals to 9 over 2. And since I got the value of y, I can get the value of x. I know that x is equals to 1 plus y, which is 1 plus 9 over 2. And LCM is 2, that is 2 plus 9. And I'm able to get the value of x. And therefore, x is equals to 11 over 2. So those are the two values that I have for the x and y. Another quadratic set of equations, and we want to solve and the first example we want to look at is x squared plus 7x plus 12 is equals to 0. Now, there are different ways of solving quadratic equations, but I want to use a shorter way of doing it. And the method is, I think of two numbers. When I sum them, I get 7. And when I multiply them, I get 12. For example, 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4 are my numbers. And 6, yeah, those are my three numbers. So which two numbers here when I multiply? All these two, when I multiply, I get 12. But which two numbers when I sum them, I get 7? It is 3 and 4. 3 plus 4 is 7. And 3 times 4 is 12. So I have 3 and 4. So my solution now becomes very easy. I just take the numbers and then write them that way. So x plus 3 is equals to 0. And that implies that x is equals to negative 3. And x plus 4 is equals to 0. And that means that x is equals to negative 4. So x is equals to negative 3 or x is equals to negative 4. And that is how I would approach a quadratic equation if I was to solve it using that shortcut. Now, we could have also used the formula to solve the quadratic equation. And the formula is x is equals to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. And how do I know what is my a, b, and c? Remember, my equation is x squared plus 7x plus 12 is equals to 0. Now, the standard form a quadratic equation is normally written in this form. So already I know my c, I already know my b, and I already know my a. My a should be 1. It is not, therefore I note down my values, and then I can now go and plug them into the formula for me to be able to use the formula that you've been given. So x is equals to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c divide by 2 times a. 2 times 1 is 2. So 4 times 1 times 12, this is 48. So it will be 49 minus 48 is 1. The square root of 1 is 1. And therefore x is equals to minus 7 plus or minus 1 over 2. So what are the possible solutions? The first one is if I use the negative sign, it will be negative 8 over 2, which is negative 4. And case because it's plus or minus, it will be x is equals to minus 7 plus 1 over 2, which is negative 6 over 2, which equals negative 3. So it is negative 4 or negative 3, just like in the previous case that we had. Another example we can think about when it comes to quadratic equations is x squared plus 2x plus 3. This time let me put a negative so that so we think of two numbers. When you multiply you get negative 3. So negative 3 is given by negative 1 times 3 or 1 times negative 3. Those are the two possible numbers. So which two numbers here? When I multiply, I get negative 3, and when I add them, I'll get positive 2. It is negative 1 and positive 3, because negative 1 times 3 will give me negative 3. So first of all, note the set of numbers so that you are able to pick them. So it will be x minus 1, x plus 3 is equals to 0. So x minus 1 is equals to 0, and that means that x is equals to 1. So that is the first solution that I have for that equation. And the second one is x plus 3 is equals to 0, and this implies that x is equals to negative 3. So x is equals to 1 or x is equals to negative 3. I'm very sure you're loving my videos. Please remember to hit the subscribe button below.